just taking a look at the Obey clothing line. The motto is never trust your own eyes, believe what you are told. Unreal that people actually buy this stuff. See the t-shirt here with the inverted cross saying obey and obey possessed. Yeah. And then I mean, realistically, this is very disturbing that people would actually enjoy wearing things like this that basically are mocking and ridiculing you and implying that you are some type of slave to mind control, and really that's what that's what this stuff is. It's just yeah, it's just basically embracing the fact that you're under mind control and telling you to obey. Again, of course, you got here you got the image of the all-seeing eye, ever-present occult symbol there, of course, and you know, you see the same thing on the front of Orwell's 1984 here, which I might add was not written to warn us, but was rather written as a form of programming to prepare people mentally for this tyranny, which they had planned even all the way back then in the 1950s. But I mean, if you look into Orwell, his background, he worked for the BBC, so I mean, realistically, I don't think he was actually trying to warn people, although we can tell, like, by looking at 1984, how incredibly accurate all of that stuff has become with regards to what we're seeing today taking place. And there you see some more of the designs for the Obey clothing line there. Again, you got some of the communist imagery in there, of course, and yeah, it's just quite surprising that people would actually embrace this type of thing and you know, walk around. Look at this here. Like, this is basically Obey, and it's got the Baphomet goat along with the communist moon and the star there. Yeah, I mean, really, there's no question what they're pushing here, and they're basically just shoving it right down people's throats. And on top of it all, basically, they're openly mocking you while having you purchase these products and wear them to indicate that you are under mind control, essentially. So this is where we've come to now in the present age, and again, like, you gotta be if you still have any functional capacity for critical thinking, you've got to be very, very disturbed with the direction that we're going with this type of thing, with people so gleefully accepting this. But then again, you can also kind of understand now why people would agree to do gang stalking activities if they're openly accepting this type of thing, you know, and also not only openly accepting it, but promoting it. You've got to kind of, yeah, I mean, very, very disturbing, the point that we have come to today. And yeah, just wanted to briefly touch upon that. Okay, so back in July of 2021, I originally posted this on BitChute. This is a video about the Obey clothing line, entitled "The Obey Clothing Line Embrace Your Mind Control." If you're not familiar with the Obey clothing line, it's this clothing line they have out with all this occult symbolism on it that basically they'll put like these Orwellian quotes and things like this, basically letting people know that the people who are wearing it are essentially slaves to the New World Order, and that they, you know, that they're basically essentially wearing it, you know, to represent their slavery and almost embracing their slavery. Very odd and very yeah, unsettling. But yeah, so I initially posted this one in 2021. I've been looking at it there. You can see the Eye of Horus on their clothing there, and it says, of course, never trust your own eyes, believe what you were told. And people are wearing that and, like promoting it. Like, you gotta be. I don't even think that it's a case that many of the people who are doing this are dumb. Not surprisingly, we also see these same people being involved in the organized stalking operations. So this tells us that something quite large scale has gone on behind the scenes, that those of us who are targeted and on these watch lists, or just people who have not agreed to partake in these things, the people who would be quote-unquote uncompromised, or unaware, don't know about. There's something going on behind the scenes. Again, when you see people, as I've shown many, many times, all wearing the exact same clothing in the stalking operations, like all wearing red, or wearing that military camouflage, or the red and black checkered shirts. There's too many of those people doing that for it to be coincidental, and it just happened quite abruptly and out of the blue, at least with the military camouflage. The other stuff has been part of the stalking operation for a long time. Those are sensitization colors, with the red, especially, of course, the red represented communism. So anyway, going back here, let's take a look a little bit more at how clothing is used with regards to symbolism within the occult, and of course these people who wear this stuff. I mean, they're literally mocking you, calling you a slave, and you're wearing clothing to promote your own slavery. I mean, that's how far people have fallen. So let's take a look here some more. I have the original video here. You can see this on my BitChute. I might post this as part of this original, as this newer add-on as well. This is obviously 2023. That was almost 2 years ago I posted that one. That was one of the first videos I posted. Shortly after waking up to my targeting, you can see this was in July of 2021 I posted that one. So July was the month that I woke up, and June was the month that I woke up to the targeting and started posting videos, about a month later. So, anywho, take a look here. So you can see here, the all-seeing eye, the Eye of Horus, the Kabbalistic symbol associated with Hermeticism in the Kabbalah. Again, they've got the communist star in there, and it says, "Never trust your own eyes, believe what you are told." And people are wearing this and promoting this. People are wearing this and promoting the fact that they're essentially being told that you will accept lies. You will accept the fact that we are lying to you, and you will embrace this, and you will not question it. And that's what's being promoted with this this clothing line here. And I mean, do people actually buy it, or does the state just give it to them? Who can say for sure, right? I mean, if there's people actually buying this with their own money, that would make them pretty, yeah. Anyway, so you see here again, you see the communist star here, obey clothing. See here, yeah, with the TV, this one with the TV representing the mind control, and it says obey. Again, someone wearing that and promoting it, promoting the fact that they're under mind control, that they're brainwashed. You see of course, there's the star there, the occult star, of course. That's not that one, it's putting this out. So much of this has the obey clothing line. You can see symbolism of communism mixed in with occult satanic symbolism and Kabbalistic symbolism, all intertwined. And again, this is the communist star propaganda. Propaganda. Now, this is a recent search I've done here. Now, when I originally put that video up in 2021, you could find a lot more of the clothing that they had that openly displayed the all-seeing eye, the Eye of Horus. Now it seems like they're kind of minimizing that because maybe it was getting a bit too obvious. I remember when I lived in Toronto, seeing this huge billboard with like the all-seeing eye, and it was from Obey Clothing. I didn't know what it was initially. Well, I knew what the all-seeing eye was, but I was like, wow, it's weird. They're really pushing that right out there overtly. And then I saw, okay, it's for this clothing line. And of course, they want people to represent this. It's all about, how important symbolism is within occult circles. So, of course, the Obey Clothing line, embrace your mind control worldwide, of course, and that's what it is. It's worldwide global communist government. That's what they're promoting right now. well, not promoting, that's what they're implementing right now. And they want you to gleefully accept it and just be happy in your slavery, right? Just like Aldous Huxley said in that, that quote from that video where he was talking about these things. He said that they might just be happy with this whole thing. They might be content in their slavery, in this painless dictatorship, I believe he referred to it as. Because at the moment right now, they're not using force as they would ordinarily do to implement communism as they have done in the past. This is not a Red Dawn scenario. This is something much different, but equally effective in some ways, because they're openly, continually using deceit and lies over and over and over again, repeating lies. And as Goebbels said, if you repeat the lie often enough, the people will accept it. So there, Obey clothing line again. They got the communist star there. Now again, they've minimized the stuff with the all-seeing eye. If you see that video I posted almost 2 years ago, they had a lot more of it with that there, with the all-seeing eye. But yeah, the Obey clothing line. Yeah, embrace your mind control. That's essentially what it is. It's people embracing their slavery, embracing the fact that they are being used, and basically they are the proletariat, which are described in Orwell's 1984. Yeah, so initially when they first started doing this, and then if you look at some of my other stuff here, and then of course, yeah, so I had a video about how clothing is used to send a message to the target. They had this guy a number of times when I was in Toronto, they'd have a person with skull and bones positioned right as where I would exit the subway and right where I would come out the doors. And they did this a number of times, positioning it right where I would see it. So you can see the skull and bones jacket there with skull and bones symbolism, making sure that I would see it using clothing to send a message. And it was done numerous times. So again, they wanted me to see it. And then again, after I posted that video, that was something that I mirrored from my older videos from BitChute. I put it on YouTube here 6 months ago, and then the next day, right as I went in to get some groceries, you would see they had a guy right after I posted a video saying how clothing is used to send a message to the target. They use clothing to send a message to the target. They have a guy with a communist CCP hockey jersey positioned right outside the moment I stepped outside the door of the mall. So there was a police car. If you watch the video, there's a police car right there, and then there's this guy checking a phone wearing a communist with the communist symbol right out in the open. And very plain and obvious there that they were using clothing to send a message to the target. So again, that's something that they will do from time to time, again, because you have to understand how important symbolism is to these people. Again, the Obey clothing line, let's just go back and take a look at, again, the all-seeing eye, the Eye of Horus, the Kabbalistic symbol representing what many believe to be the Antichrist, in fact, who, according to one of the verses in the scripture, will be blinded in one eye. So anyway, you can see there, never trust your own eyes, believe what you were told. And that's the Obey clothing line. And yeah, so the people who are wearing that, again, gleefully promoting their own slavery, and quite blissful in doing so.
Well, to start with, I think this kind of the dictatorship of the future, I think will be very unlike the dictatorships which we've been familiar with in the immediate past. I mean, take another book prophesying the future, which was a very remarkable book, George Orwell's 1984. Well, this book was written at the height of the Stalinist regime and just after the Hitler regime. And there he foresaw a dictatorship using entirely the methods of terror, the methods of physical violence. Now, I think what is going to happen in the future is the dictators will find, as the old saying goes, that you can do everything with bayonets except sit on them. That if you want to preserve your power indefinitely, you have to get the consent of the ruled. And this they will do partly by drugs, as I foresaw in Brave New World, partly by these new techniques of propaganda. They will do it by bypassing the sort of rational side of man and appealing to his subconscious and his deeper emotions and his physiology even, and so making him actually love his slavery. I mean, I think this is the danger, that actually people may be in some ways happy under the new regime, but they will be happy in situations where they oughtn't to be happy.
all Soviet governments are Leninist governments. They're driven by the deception strategy perfected by Lenin, which is aimed at achieving a long-range strategy, namely control of the whole world.
And part of this strategy, as really put into a codified plan by 1959, dealt with creating the impression that liberalization or destabilization, decentralization was occurring in the communist states as a way of lulling the West into putting down its defenses.
Yeah. What happened was that, according to Golitsyn, is that after the death of Stalin, the communists realized, in general, that the method of control that they'd been adopting, namely brutal repression, was an inefficient method of achieving control over populations, and that it was more efficient to seek to achieve control through infiltration and deception, and through the control of the minds of the target.